Enlightened and then what? Hello, this is Chris speaking, Shores of Infinity, with a new channel intro video, Enlightened and then what? Some of you may wonder what this channel is about. Well, it is about awakening and enlightenment, and it is supposed to be practical. So I'm not talking about theory here, I'm talking about practical stuff that I have tried out myself and found very useful on the path. For I don't think that it is very difficult to reach awakening or enlightenment. The difficult part is to stay there, to maintain this. Hundreds of thousands of people every year reach some higher state of consciousness that you could call awakening or enlightenment, but then they fall out of it again after a few days without realizing it, because we have been taught that it is a one-time thing. Once enlightenment happens to you, that's it, you're free. You reach the goal. Unfortunately, this is not true. I've never met anyone to whom this has happened this way. Nor have I ever heard of anyone who has reached a certain point and then always stayed there. It just doesn't happen like that. It's propagated like that in the spiritual marketplace of New Age today, but this is not realistic. What is realistic is that something happens to you and you think you're going crazy, and then you wonder, okay, what am I supposed to do now? What the bleep is happening to me, and what am I supposed to do now? No one told me about this. It really feels weird. There are some gurus or anti-gurus who give it a fitting name like the calamity or the abyss or collision with the infinite. It's not instant peace and love and harmony and joy forever after. Unfortunately, it's a bit like an accident. Like a clash or crash. BAM! Consciousness, which the Indians call Satchitananda, is a force. It is the force that runs the universe. And when you encounter it, it does feel a bit like a collision, like a hurricane. And everyone to whom this has happened knows this, but very few people talk about this. Or maybe they have forgotten already. Yeah, after years and years of working through this, maybe you forget about it. But usually it takes at least 7 or 8 years to digest this and find a new balance in your life. And during this time, it's a roller coaster, up and down. It's not always up or level, it's up and down. It's like exploring a new country. This is why the channel is called Shores of Infinity. Your boat has crashed on the shores, on the beaches of a new country, which is infinitely larger than the country you have come from. You're a stranger in a strange land, you don't know the rules, and everything looks very unfamiliar and familiar at the same time. And here the idea of the channel comes in to be a bit like a beacon or a guide or a pioneer, to show you a little bit how to navigate this a little bit safer, a little bit less rough, a little bit less dangerous. And therefore this channel is not only about spell dynamics, or not only about Sri Aurobindo, or not only about UG, or not only about trauma healing, but many topics. This is not very clever from a marketing point of view. This is not how you explore a niche and then build upon it and gather lots of subscribers. But each video I make, I'm 100% convinced from my own experience and that of others as well, that this is a very important topic that needs to be talked about, thought about, explored, experienced. You may have joined the channel for only one reason, maybe spell dynamics, but there are other topics as well which are very important on the spiritual path, not only spell dynamics. Otherwise I would only talk about spell dynamics if that were enough. When some people have asked me or written me, Who are you anyway to talk about these things? What makes you an authority? I'm not an authority. I'm just a down-to-earth guy with a down-to-earth job who had many, many spiritual experiences and who has been on the path for more than 25 years and who has tried out almost everything there is. So I'm not speaking from a theoretical point of view about opinions. I'm speaking from experience. And this is where you come in. Experience is the only important thing, your experience. But sometimes it is helpful to hear about the experience of others, especially if you're a little bit lost on your path, when you don't know what to do anymore now. But it is when it is a bit stranger than you thought or expected it to be, then it's good to have contact with someone who may be a few steps ahead, who may have experienced this already. The path to enlightenment is not about competition. There is not like there are only a few places available and we have to fight. We don't have to fight for anything here. It's about surrender. It's about letting go. And letting go especially our self-importance. And lastly, why am I not on most of the videos? Because technically it is much more elaborate. You need a special place with $1,000 camera and so on to make really, really professional videos with a picture. Recording you speaking. I just don't have the time for this. Having a YouTube channel is not my main job. In fact, it's not my job at all. I'm a therapist and I also teach philosophy and acupuncture. Those are my main jobs. But in my free time, I sometimes sit down and spontaneously talk about topics that I think are important for those who seek and who already have found, but now are not sure where to go from here. So in my spare time, I offer you guidance and advice from experience, and sometimes, if people ask me, I also offer courses on certain aspects, like right now, the spiritual maintenance course, how to maintain where you are, how to avoid this roller coaster. So if you like the channel, if you like the video, please give it a rating. Or you can also join me on Patreon. Link is below. Thanks for everyone who has already joined me on Patreon. It's a nice little group where we can talk about things in more detail. And also you can reach me on email. And there's a website as well. All the information is below. Thank you for watching and liking and subscribing, and see you soon.